Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Huntsman Experience Workshop for the management degree. My name is Cindy Draper, and I am the advisor for the management degree. And we will be joined shortly by Valerie Reese, who is the career coach. Hopefully, I've already met some of you through an appointment. If not, we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. I'm going to share my screen with you and we'll go over a PowerPoint. Some of this stuff you probably will already know, but it'll be a good refresher for us all. So this is me right here, Cindy Draper and Valerie. If you would like to make an appointment with us, this is the QR code that takes you directly to the page to make an appointment with us. So you can take a picture of that if you would like. And you can always find it on the Huntsman website as well. We also have statewide advisors. I recognize that some of you might be statewide students that are joining us today. These are our advisors. Amanda Peterson is over Brigham City, Kaysville, Salt Lake, Orem, and Tooele. Kayleen Evans is over the Southwest region, which basically goes from Nephi to St. George, and she's also over USU Eastern. Shanda Thompson is over in our corner of Moab and Blanding, and Megan is for the Uinta Basin. And you can reach them and make an appointment as well at the same QR code as you found us. You should be able to get the management degree at all the statewide campuses or online, and we'll talk about the specifics of the emphasis in a few minutes as well. And recognizing that not all of the resources we talked to you about today will be available as a statewide student, but most of them will be as well. And if you have a question, if it is, just feel free to ask one of the advisors or ask myself or Valerie, and we can find out the answer to that question. So we're going to start off with our appointment policy. We have a policy where we ask you to reschedule your appointment if you are 10 minutes late. And this is mainly because we schedule our appointments every 30 minutes and sometimes appointments take longer than 20 minutes. So if you're 10 minutes late, we ask you to reschedule that appointment, and they have been instructed at the front desk to do that as well. If you are running late, please just call the number and let us know that you're on your way. We can start an appointment by phone if you need to, or because I realize sometimes there's traffic and there's weather and sometimes you get out of class late, whatever, it's fine. Just call and we can start talking over the phone or whatever we need to do to help you make your appointment time. Okay. Oops. Next thing is student email accounts. This is super important. We ask that whenever you converse with us on email, all correspondence needs to be with your student email account. It just is a more safer environment for you as we're passing back and forth pretty confidential information. So we ask you that you use your Aggie email. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to respond to you if you use your Gmail account, because I totally will. But make sure down here at the bottom, please be sure to include your A number and all correspondence. That helps me so that I have the right students, because there's a lot of the same names in throughout the university. So I want to make sure that I'm talking and answering the right questions for the right person. Oh, also, let's go back to that. Oh, maybe not. Hang on. All correspondence from the university will also come to your email. And this is important because you don't want to show up to a class at 7:30 in the morning and find out that the professor has canceled your class. So always be checking your email account, kind of maybe put a notification on there, but check your email account at least once a week. This is where, if you're on a wait list for a class, this is where you're going to find out where you get off the wait list, and just know that wait lists, you have 24 hours to register for that class. If it is the first week of the semester, you only have 12 hours. So it's really important that you're checking that Aggie email. Freshman Academy. This is just for freshmen only. If you're a transfer student, this does not apply to you. If it's your first semester here on campus with us, we highly encourage you to take the Freshman Academy course. It's on Fridays and it's at 8:30 in the morning, and it integrates you into the Huntsman School of Business. It brings in professors, it helps you get to know some of the professors, some of the classes, it helps you network with other students. And it gives you some really great information to help you become and be a very successful student in the Huntsman School of Business. So if you are not enrolled in that this semester and you're in your first time freshman, I highly encourage you to make sure that you register for it in the fall semester. It is only 1 credit and it's a pass-fail. So attendance is taken and you get points for attending and for doing a few other things, but so please register for that. In the classroom, here's some of the requirements we have for you to graduate. You have a total number of 120 credits. Now the courses that you take that are required for your degree in the management does not equal 120. So just know you're going to be taking some courses that are electives. Usually it's right around 15 credits, and sometimes some people will take a minor, add a minor, and that kind of takes care of the 120. Sometimes students just take classes that you want to take, something that interests you outside of the Huntsman School of Business, or a PE course. Just know that you need 120. 100 of those need to be C- or above. 40 of those will be upper division credits, which are 3,000 level or above. General education is 30 credits. And then in addition to general education, we have what we call depth education, and that is 15 credits in addition to these. And these are 3,000 level or above. Just know that some of these depth education credits are satisfied by some of the business acumen courses that you're required to take. And we will talk about those things when you have an advising session with me. And we do require a 2.5 GPA overall, a USU GPA of 2.5, as well as in your major or your minor, needs to be a 2.5. We have what we call business acumen courses. And these are 18 courses that are required no matter which degree you are pursuing in the Huntsman School of Business, except for the economics degree. If you decide to do an economics degree, it's a little bit different. But all of these courses require a C grade or better. There are a few exceptions to that rule, and we'll talk about those in just a few minutes. So what it does is it makes it easier for you to get a dual degree in the Huntsman School of Business, or it also makes it easy if you decide, I'm not a management student, I'm a marketing student. Well, guess what? You've taken these courses, they count for that degree as well. And so it's pretty simple to do that. I will tell you that the Management 3700 requires a B-. MSLE 3500 is Fundamentals of Marketing. It does require a C, but I tell students, we just changed this degree for management students only. I encourage you to get a B grade or better, because if you decide to take some more marketing classes, or if possible, you might transfer to the marketing degree, they do require a B. So I would shoot for a B in that class, even though we will accept a C. And because of that, there's a class that you have to take in the management degree that is a marketing, and I do have to put an exception in. So if you get lower than a B, just make sure and talk to me, and we'll figure things out there. So in the management degree, there are 5 emphases that you have to pick one of those emphases. If you haven't picked one already, then you need to start thinking about it. These are courses that we kind of tack on. They're part of the degree, but we don't have you take them until your end of your junior, first of your senior year. Some of them are semester specific. Now, there's the healthcare management degree. It's available broadcast to the statewide students. We have the hotel management degree. It is available online to the statewide students. Human resources is available to the statewide students online as well. Backup hotel management is semester specific. So make sure that, and so is the healthcare management. And the online courses for the human resources are only offered certain semesters. So keep that in mind if those are the ones you want. And then there is operations and supply chain management. All of those courses are specific to semesters. So it's super important that, and it has some prerequisite requirements. So we need to make sure that if you're in that degree that we've got you taking the courses in the right semesters. It is available statewide students as a broadcast students. And then the wealth management is the 5th emphasis. That is not available to statewide students because you have to be on campus for finance classes, except for the 2 introductory finance classes, which is 3,200 and 3,300. These are the prerequisite courses for each emphasis, and they all require a B- grade or better. So you will need to take these first before you can take the rest of the emphasis courses and get that B-. Degree Works. I know some of you are probably already familiar with Degree Works, but we're going to do a quick overview of Degree Works in case you are not. If you are not familiar with Degree Works, the best way to find that is on your dashboard. Hopefully mine comes up. It's not going to come up. So if you go down under academic records, there is a link to Degree Works. What Degree Works is it basically is just kind of an overshot of all of the classes you have taken, the classes you haven't taken, and the classes you're currently in. So at the top, it'll have your A number, it'll have your name, it will list what degree you're getting, what level you are, where your class rank is, what your catalog year is. It'll have your advisor and your overall GPA. And if you've applied for graduation, it'll show up here. Currently, this is going to be showing us the classes that this student is currently enrolled in and the ones that they're pre-registered for if you've already registered for a future semester. And it will also show you your progress in your requirements and your credits. Bachelor of Science, these will be all of your general requirements the university requires. And then if you're a part of an honors program, there'll be a box for there if you've applied for graduation. And then it goes here to general education courses. Just know if it's a green check, you have satisfied that requirement. If it is red, you have not completed the requirement. If it has a blue half circle, it means you're currently registered in it. Then it will show you your depth education. A great way to see what satisfies a general ed or depth is if you click on this blue link. And my internet is, there we go. It's kind of slow. Anyway, this lists all of the courses that satisfy that requirement. It'll give you a pretty good indication of when that is available for that semester or the semester that you're registering for. Currently, it already has summer and fall in it. Just know that's not going to be 100% accurate. They haven't completed the fall semester schedule quite yet, but these are the preliminary ones that are in there. And sometimes you'll notice right here, this has a DHA and a CI. This class actually satisfies both of those requirements. And we will talk more in depth about these things when you come in and see me for an appointment. And then it will list your major requirements. And then after the major requirements, it will have a box right here that lists the emphasis. And then if you have a minor, it will list the minor. And then of course it will list your elective courses. If you've got any classes you've taken that doesn't satisfy any of the above requirements, it will be listed in here. If perchance you have retaken a course, or you've withdrawn a course, or failed a course, it will show here in the courses not used. These are not applied to your GPA if they haven't been. If they do apply to your GPA in certain, like this one would definitely, unless it's been repeated. So when it's repeated, it comes down here and it does not apply to your GPA. Also know if you repeat a course, the grade is your most recent course. It is not the better of the two courses. Okay, and we can kind of talk about this as well. And then if we put any exceptions, we're going to go back up here to the top. These three dots right here, you can press those. It'll give you a GPA calculator. If you're looking for a certain GPA, you can put in your credits remaining and what you want, and it will tell you what grade you need to get. Also, it'll tell your class history. It'll say what you've registered for, and which semesters, and what you're currently registered for. Another great tool I like to use is a what if. So say this student is forest ecology. He wants to be a management student. So we will go in here and we'll put in this catalog year, make sure this says Bachelor's of Science, make sure that says undergraduate. Under major, we'll go down here and find management, click on management. And this person, we're going to put in a minor as well. We'll do leadership minor. And then you go down here and process. You can also add here, you can add another minor or another major. So if you want to do a dual major, you'll do it right here. Press process. And it will come up and show you what you have satisfied so far in the management degree. And unfortunately, this person's only taken accounting. So it'll kind of give you a snapshot of what it would look like if you decide to change your major. It's a really, really great tool. Okay, let's go back to the PowerPoint. Sorry. Hey, minors. So the Huntsman School of Business has 21 minors, and they're really pretty simple to get. So that just because there's a lot of overlap, we'll kind of look at one minor here. Let's look at, we'll just look at the leadership minor. So it requires 12 credits. This MSLE 3800 is a business acumen course, so you won't need to take that. Management 3250 and 4600 is part of the management degree, so you wouldn't need to take that. So you would only need to take 3 more courses, and that's pretty common across the board with all the minors. It typically is about 9 more credits because you can double dip on those minors. So getting a minor in the Huntsman School of Business is pretty simple. Now, that doesn't mean you have to get a minor in the Huntsman School of Business. You can get it outside of the School of Business. For a management degree, you cannot get the business minor and you cannot get the people and organizations minor. So if you decide, you're not quite sure which emphasis you want, you like both of them, you can either do a double emphasis, which that's what I would suggest, but you can also do one of those as an emphasis and one of them as a minor. But I would do a double emphasis. A lot of students will get a management degree and minor in marketing or leadership or data or real estate. Those are some of the popular ones, but look at them all. And it's not something you have to decide right now. You can decide that as you go along as well. So minors are great. All right, I am going to pass the baton to Valerie, and she is going to talk to you about the career part. My job is to get you graduated. Her job is to get you a job. So I will give it to Valerie.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Cindy. I appreciate that. Let me just make sure that my screen is sharing here. Yeah, as Cindy mentioned, I am the career coach and I have the pleasure of supporting you all as management students. The one exception is wealth management students. We'll meet with Nicole Barfus. She is the career coach that supports our finance econ students. So all other emphases, I'm your person. And as Cindy also mentioned, my goal as career coach is all things outside of the class. So my expectation is just by virtue of you all being here and working with Cindy, you'll pass your classes, and I want to help you line up a job by the time you graduate. So some of the things we'll talk about today will feed into that goal of helping you line up a job by the time you graduate. First up is this resource, the Start Desk. Hopefully you all have seen that. It's between the main doors at the north entrance between EBB and Huntsman Hall. We have student mentors there Monday through Friday from 9 to 2, and they can be great resources to students. They can help you discover and talk about what elective classes you might like. They can help you with short academic advising questions. They can help you with a resume review, those types of things. So if you see them sitting at the desk and you have a question about academic advising or career development, stop by and ask them. They can also help schedule appointments with Cindy or myself. Next resource is, I'm going to talk about 2 Canvas courses. Both of these resources are available to our statewide campus students, and hopefully you see them both on your Canvas landing page. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Huntsman First Year Experience Canvas course. This is designed to acclimate you to the resources available to the Huntsman School of Business. And as you participate in these activities, you'll learn how to own your education, which will facilitate your career readiness and success. It is competitive and there are prizes and recognition associated. One of the first and easiest activities to participate in is you being here in the Huntsman workshop. So you can submit points for that activity, and you'll also see there are leaderboards that will display it every month around the business school, acknowledging those who participate. As you complete all of the activities, you can receive a badge for career readiness, and you can put this on your LinkedIn profile and on your resume. And this will designate your career readiness status to recruiters. And if you don't see either of these on your Canvas page, just let myself know and I can add you to both of them. The next one is Dare Mighty Careers. And what I want you all to know about this one is this is how I communicate with you all in the management major. And I send announcements weekly, typically on Wednesdays. I really try not to send more than one a week so that you all don't feel spammed. Occasionally I'll send one additional one if I receive something about an event or a job or internship opportunity that expires or happens before the next Wednesday. In that announcement, you'll see it's organized into events. So the events listed are pertinent to your major. So they'll typically have information when companies are coming to campus so that you can have some time and a heads up for when you can do some career exploration as well as networking, which will be critical in landing those internships and job opportunities. The next thing in the announcement is a list of internship opportunities followed by job opportunities. And then as you scroll down towards the bottom of that announcement, you'll see links for each club and how to get involved with those clubs. And the other thing to know about Dare Mighty Careers is there are 10 modules that you can find quick resources on things such as resumes, how to prepare for an interview, some career exploration, job search strategies, those types of things. So look for those announcements each Wednesday. Next up is Focus Fridays. This is another thing that is unique about Huntsman School of Business. For the most part, Huntsman has intentionally scheduled no classes on Fridays, and that is for student development and for you guys to take the time to develop professionally and really connect with each other, with your peers, and with companies that will be on campus. Every fall, we have our flagship event, which is the Career Expo. We've had Lieutenant Commander from Hill Air Force Base come. We've had former Congresswoman Mia Love. We've had former CEO and chairwoman of Pepsi Company, just to name a few. And when these people come from around the nation, they come to help students, again, with that career exploration and also to network with students. So come prepared. Sometimes internships have even been offered during these events. In the spring, our flagship event is Mock Interview Day, and that's typically in February. Some of the other Focus Friday events that we have are, I did mention, but I didn't call it out by name, leadership forums. And that's the one where we had the Lieutenant Commander, Congresswoman. And they're usually from about 10:30 to noon. So if you just want to schedule that time, just that hour and a half on Fridays, you'll be able to participate in these events. And the thing that I notice as I meet with students, those who do take advantage of these opportunities really set themselves up for success and the ability to, again, land that job when they graduate. One other Focus Friday event I wanted to mention is backpack to briefcase presentations. So these are typically going to be accessible to you either on the Focus Friday page at Huntsman or on the Huntsman YouTube channel. So you can find them there. And we release anywhere from 3 to 4 presentations each semester. And we typically invite guests to talk about things we hear students talking about. So they're usually pretty pertinent and relevant to what's currently going on. The other thing I would say to do is to get involved. And some of these events that we talk about will be available for our statewide campus students. The Focus Friday events that I talked about before, the mock interview day, that's usually virtual, so our statewide campus students could participate in that. The Career Expo, which is usually in September, may be a bit of a drive for some students at the southern end of the state, but for those in the Salt Lake area and north, it may be worth your time to come up and meet with those companies that will be here. They're usually about 50, and it's typically the last Friday in September. Back to student involvement. The Huntsman School of Business has over 24 clubs that support the majors. The clubs to talk about for management would be Shingo. That's the club for operations. We also have SHRM, which stands for the Society of Human Resource Management. Of course, that's for HR. And then we have Healthcare Administration for our healthcare emphasis students. And then there are other clubs that you can get involved in as well, but those are the major specific ones that we currently have. And club involvement is really important because when I talk with recruiters about student resumes, they say 2 of the things they really look for students to stand out is and to demonstrate how interested or how passionate that student is about their career field outside of class. They look for club involvement and then internship. And the last thing I want to say about clubs is it's also a good idea to get involved in club leadership. So pay attention to that, especially as, as we wind down the semester, the clubs will be looking to align new leadership for next year. So look for those opportunities. Then talking about internships, as I just mentioned, that's another thing that recruiters look for. And I will say it all day long. For internships, I encourage students to do them early and to do them often. Internships is something that is limited to your time in college. Sometimes it feels like college is going to last forever, but I promise you it's not. And it's a really unique opportunity to get paid to explore a career. And when I talk about internships and the internship opportunities that are posted in that Dare Mighty Careers announcement, they're paid internship opportunities. So I believe you all should be paid for the work that you do. And so when you do an internship, again, it's a great opportunity to try out a career in your field to see if that's what aligns with you. If it is, that's great. And oftentimes, when I've talked with students who are intentional about connecting with people in their department and outside of their department, it can often translate into a follow-up either internship or job opportunity the next semester, depending on where you are in school. On the other hand, if it's you find out that's not the part of your career you're interested in, you are still able to get paid to explore and figure that out, and hopefully still make some connections that can help you along as you identify what you want to do with your major. The other two things that I want to talk about that are available for our statewide campus students is SEED, that stands for Small Enterprise Education and Development. And this is typically a semester-long experience where our students get to put their skills together in helping other people in areas such as teaching, funding, and mentoring. And the next one is the Global Learning Experience, or GLE. And students have opportunities to go to countries such as France, Europe, South Africa, and Peru, to name just a few. And the last club I wanted to talk about before we leave student involvement is the HERD. So that's the student section here on campus. And I always like to mention that our student section is the loudest in the nation as measured by the Richter scale. So that's pretty exciting, pretty cool. And if you have any questions about how to get involved or any of the things we've talked about, just reach out to Cindy or I, and we can help you with that. Next up is we want to talk about Your Story Matters. So this is something that we're doing. We want to collect stories from you to share with your peers, whether it's about internships, impactful faculty, or other Huntsman experiences resources. We feel that one of the best ways to perpetuate Huntsman's legacy is for you to all learn from each other, whether you're a first generation student, a non-traditional student, or a reentry student, whether you've had a struggle or a challenge, and what resources you use to overcome that challenge. One of the most common stories we've collected from your peers is about doing internships. And the advice is to just do it, even though it feels outside of your comfort zone or you're uncertain, to just do it. Take the plunge, and you'll see the success from your willingness to dare mighty. So the last thing we really wanted to talk about is setting a goal. And so we think about this as, what's your dare mighty? What's your big dream? If there were no limits to your time or resources, what do you want to do? And then remember that Cindy and I are your success team. We're here to support you along the way. And if you're not sure what you want to do right now, that's okay. And also, if you change what your dream looks like, that's also okay. We're here to stand by you again and to support you. And whenever I come to this slide, I always think of one of the principles from Stephen Covey's books, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And one of the principles is begin with the end in mind. So that's what this slide is about. You can see on the right-hand side the components of setting a SMART goal. When we set SMART goals, we're more likely to achieve them. And when we talk about this dare mighty and beginning with the end in mind, once we've identified what we want to do, then we can reverse engineer. Then we can look back and see, what is our semester goal? How is that going to feed into our dare mighty? And then take one step back further and see, what are week to month timeframe goals that will help me achieve my semester goal. And then as we do that reverse engineering, we can make sure that you're on track and you're intentionally engaging and taking advantage of the opportunities that are here at Huntsman to help you to land your dream job. So the next thing we're going to do is, if you want to look at some of these ideas of what the short-term goals and semester goals are, in the next slide, you're going to take out your phone and scan a QR code and set your own goal. So here is the QR code. If you want to go ahead and scan that, or you can go to the link down below and you can fill out that survey. You're going to check all of the boxes that, yes, we talked about these things, complete your goal, and then make sure that you submit it. And if you have a problem with something, the link's not working or the QR code, reach out to Cindy or myself, and we can make sure that you get that QR code and submit it. Because once we receive your submission, that's verification of your attendance and participation. That'll go directly to Cindy. And without that, a hold will be placed on your ability to register for classes. So just know again that I'm so happy to be here. I love being at Huntsman. I love the focus on student success. That's something that really resonates with me. And I really look forward to daring mighty with you. So I'm going to turn the time back over for Cindy to see if she has any last thoughts she wants to share.
I do not, but we are super excited to have you join us, and please just make sure and make an appointment with us so that we can meet you and help you reach your goals. And know that if you have any questions whatsoever, you can either email either one of us at any time, and we'd be glad to help you. And we just wish you the best and have a great day.